Hello, you're watching the procedures video for Mrs. Cremeens' language arts class. I'm looking forward to creating a predictable, organized classroom environment that will help all students succeed. One way that we will achieve this is by using some procedures in our classroom. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to use procedures to help you and your classmates have a safe, enjoyable year. A procedure is a way things are done, or a routine for doing an activity. We have procedures in our classroom because it will help you to know what is expected of you and how to meet those expectations. When you know what to do, you get in trouble less, which is very beneficial for all students because it allows for more time to learn the curriculum. Following these procedures will help prevent us from wasting instructional time on behavior management issues. The first procedure that we are going to take a look at is entering the room, the first thing that you will do each class period. Walk into the room appropriately. Do not push and shove other students, sing or dance into the room, or speak in a loud voice. Enter the room quietly. Walk to your assigned seat and place your books in the basket under your desk, not all over the floor so they are blocking the walkway. Next, we have starting class. Class will always begin the same way each period. The first period of class will begin with DOL as the opening activity, and the second period will begin with Word of the Day. This section will discuss how to start the first period of class. You may chat with other students quietly while you are getting your homework out of your language arts binder before the bell rings. Once the bell rings, the talking needs to cease or stop so we can quickly get to work on our opening activity, DOL. Make sure your homework is out on your desk for the Student of the Week to check and start making any corrections that you find to the DOL editing paragraph using a colored pen. While you are waiting for the Student of the Week to start the corrections, get out your daily agenda sheet and check to see what the lesson's objectives are for the day. Check to see if there are any upcoming assignments, projects, quizzes, or tests. If you didn't have the day's assignments completed, fill out the pink slip that the Student of the Week gave you and write your name on the board for breaking rule number 8. The next important procedure that we are going to discuss is getting a pass to leave the classroom. Students will not be allowed to use the restroom during the first or last 5 minutes of class. Restroom passes will not be given during instruction time unless it is an emergency. After you obtain permission to leave the room, write your name using one marker and an appropriate size on the correct side of the board. Take the hall pass pin from the board. When you return to the room, clip the pin back onto the board and draw one line through your name so that it is still visible. You are allowed one pass out of the room for the 2 periods that you are in my room. This does not include passes to see the nurse or emergencies. Leaving the room frequently causes you to miss out on valuable instructional time. Leaving the room is also a distraction for the other students in the room. The library procedures will be different than anything that I have used before. This year we will be using an online program to manage the classroom library. 2 books can be checked out, each for a 3-week period of time. 2 listings of all books in the classroom library are available. Books are categorized by genre, and it is important that books go back in the location that they came from to make locating books easy for everyone. To check out a book, click on the Classroom Library tab in the Google Chrome browser, or visit www.classroom.booksource.com. Click on the Checkout button. Find your name on the list. To locate a book, you can view the book list, type the ISBN that can be found on the back of the book near the barcode. You can also type in the title of the book in the search bar. Once you have found the book that you want, click the Checkout link. Click Finish to return to the main screen. To return a book, click on the Return button. Find your name and the book that you have checked out should be present on the screen. Click the Return link and rate the book using the stars. Also, you can write a review if you want your classmates to know whether the book was good or not. Then click Finish to return to the main screen. Another procedure that is important is knowing when it is acceptable to eat or drink in the classroom. Students are not allowed to eat or drink in the classroom unless they receive permission from the teacher. Students who are caught chewing gum will be asked to spit it out. Students may bring water bottles to the classroom, but may lose the privilege if they frequently leave it behind when they leave. Birthday treats will be reserved for homeroom, but there may be other occasions where food and drink may be permitted in the classroom. You will be notified in advance of times when you are allowed to eat or drink in the classroom. If you are eating candy from a previous class, when you walk into the room, the candy must be finished by the time the tardy bell rings. No snacks may be shared if there is not enough for all members of the class. The next procedure that I will discuss is arriving to class late, or being tardy. Being tardy to class is not acceptable. Students who arrive in the classroom after the bell is rung will be required to write their name on the board for the period. Being punctual, or on time, is a very important quality to have. Arriving after class has started is disruptive to the learning in the classroom and is a distraction to the students who showed up before the bell rang and have already begun their work. Group work will be an almost daily activity in your language arts class, so it is important that you know the procedures in place before we begin learning. In the past, the noise level has escalated to an unacceptable level during group work in my classroom. This year, I have an app on my tablet that will track the noise level in the room. When the noise level is at an acceptable level, the card hanging from the podium will be green. When the noise level reaches an unacceptable level, the card on the podium will be switched to yellow, indicating that the class is being warned of their unacceptable noise level. If the noise level does not decrease or does decrease only to increase a short time later, the card will be switched to red. A red card means that all students must move to their individual desks and continue the group work independently. After 5 minutes of independent work, the groups will reform and the card will be moved back to yellow. If the noise level reaches an unacceptable level again, the card will be switched to red and group privileges will be revoked for 1 week. That means that work that students would normally do in groups will become partner work or independent work. Students working in groups should be respectful of one another and split all work equally. Students should reach agreements on all parts of group projects and do so in a quiet, respectful manner. Students may have a chance to choose their groups, but it will be a random selection most often. The groups are usually temporary, so it is possible for all students in a group to get along for a short period of time. Another important procedure to remember is bringing your materials to class. Students received a list of supplies needed for language arts and a list of supplies that were needed in class every day on the first day class met. There is no reason that students should come to class unprepared. It is not acceptable to go to work without the necessary equipment that is needed to complete your job efficiently. In language arts class, this includes making sure that you have a writing utensil, your language arts binder, textbooks, and any homework that you may have. Not bringing supplies essential to class will result in a minor conduct. You may then go to your locker and get whatever item you are missing if it isn't possible to borrow from another student. And finally, it is important to know how to leave the classroom appropriately. Students that have both language arts periods in a row may leave the room during the 3-minute passing period. The bell does not dismiss the class. The bell is a reminder for the teacher. Students may get out of their seats and leave the room only if they choose to do so, after the teacher says, "Have a nice break." Students must return to the room by the time the tardy bell rings, or they will be counted tardy and be required to write their name on the board. When the bell rings to leave the classroom for the final time of the day, students must wait for the teacher to say, "Have a nice day," before they get out of their seats. Students should make sure that they straighten their desk rows and pick up any garbage off of the floor, because the teacher may not dismiss the class until the room looks presentable and the materials used are ready for the next class. Students should repeat, "Have a nice day," to the teacher as they are leaving the room. When this video concludes, you will discuss the procedures as a class with your teacher and determine if any other procedures need to be set. You will watch these procedures being modeled in class before practicing them yourself. These procedures are very important, and following them correctly will help us to have a fun learning experience this year in language arts class. Well, that's all I have for now. Until next time, Secret Agents.